You ever had one of those weeks where every day felt like a plot twist? Yeah, that's how it felt this last week. It was an emotional and mental roller coaster. So if you're ready for an update, sit down, kick back. I've got a lot to tell you. Let's get started. All right. So now that you're here, so let me put this down so y'all can. So I don't have to hold it. Can y'all see me? I hope you can see me. I should have got my watch, but so the last time that you saw me, like I told you that I just made my profile public, my Facebook profile public. I just took it public. I just decided that it was time to get out there and really like put myself out there so that people can see and stuff like that. So much has happened in the last in the last week. Like it's like I said, it has been an emotional roller coaster. And then also, like I also realized how many people, if y'all if y'all hear cursing and yelling, it's because Lexi's watching the Knicks game in the living room. So, and the Knicks are like the Knicks elite, like it's like they're uh, they're on the verge of clinching. Like if they win, they go to the Eastern Conference Finals. So like it's a big deal. Anyway, so so like we wound up coming back to the hotel that was close to Lexi's job because sorry, hold on, let me take this off because hopefully y'all can hear me if I leave it like that. So anyway, so we wound up being able to come back, even after having to leave that one time because this place is much more comfortable. It's got a separate bedroom. It's got two bathrooms. So like there was it's much more comfortable. And then like I said, it's much closer to Lexi's job. So that's a relief in the morning trying to get her to go to work every day and stuff, like get her to go to work. So it you know so we were able to come back here. We were able to make it happen. And then but then delivering food was very slow this last week for me. Like it was really slow. So it was a struggle paying for the room during the beginning parts of the week. And this is why I have to say, like, there's so many people out there who've been seeing what I'm doing and have really like shown up and said, I believe in what you're doing, and here's how I can help, and have shown support. Two of my sisters have reached out. One of them scolded me because she was like, I can't believe you didn't tell me, like we're family, like this is, like, so she's been really helpful. My oldest sister, she reached out. She was like, hey, like this is, I hope this helps and stuff like that. So it was, like, and let me say that these, when I say my sisters, these are two women who are related to me only by love. Like I know that sounds corny or whatever. Like these are my brother's sisters, and they've never stopped treating me like their brother, even though we haven't been in that actual family dynamic in years, and they've never stopped treating me as such. In a way where some blood relatives haven't even you know reached out to see if if I'm eating, or if I've how I'm surviving and stuff like that. So that family is what you make it. So just keep that in mind. You know what I mean? Like family isn't always blood. Like, it's the people that show up for you when you need it most consistently and who are always there for you. So the fact that, those two women have showed up and have treated me in such a manner, even to this day, after, all these years, like, it really touched my heart, and that of Lexi too. Like, she was, um it was really it was really emotional. It was really uplifting, and it showed us that there were people out there. There's another guy who helped out tremendously, and I don't even know. I don't know him like that. We met virtually because we both joined a coaching group. And then I don't even remember when we became Facebook friends. But he reached out and he was like, "Hey man, how's it going?" and stuff like that. And he offered both monetarily, and then he gave like substantial, like what he sent me was like, it was a lot, like for somebody that you don't know like that, you know what I mean? It was a lot, and then he offered help to, you know, check my resume. Like, this is what he does professionally. So he was like, "I'll help you, set a call with me, and like we'll go over your resume and stuff like that and see where we can tweak it and make it look like, attractive for potential employers." So like that was helpful. So shout out to Art. Like, I don't know if he wants to, if he's the type of person that wants the kind of recognition like that or stuff like that. But this guy has reached out several times, and to just offer words of encouragement, and to say, like, like, I see you struggle, I understand. And he was like, "Dude, how can I help?" And I hate, part of the struggle, when people are like, "How can I help?" And it's like, and I feel bad because in the end, like, really, what I need is money, both like immediately and long term. You know what I mean? So like, I was struggling because the delivering food wasn't making any money, and I'm like, I gotta pay this rent. And the flip side of that is like, so anybody, the people who, like my brother and my sister and stuff like that, who have sent me money, like, that helps me get out of the situation that I'm in immediately. But long term, I need a steady flow of income. I need a job. And so he offered his help, and did that. And that was, like, that was like, wow, like. And his name is Art, so shout out to you, buddy. Like, my family greatly appreciates what you've done for us, what you and your family have done for us. So if you see this, just know that the Arnezes are greatly appreciative of you. So, um, and then I joined a couple groups on Facebook for like men's mental health and stuff like that, and there was a couple guys there that were going through stuff, and I commented on their post, and I told them, I was like, "Look, dude, like, hit me on a DM, like, if you want to talk, like, and they both did, and we talked, and both of them seemed to had ended the conversation in a much better place. One hasn't talked to me since, even though I reached out to check on him, but the other one has been in contact several times. And yesterday, I don't know how he found out, or he saw, or whatever, but he was like he was like, I did this, and I got this little bit of money, which wasn't a lot. It wasn't like life changing or anything, but he was like, "Dude, like, do you need some of it?" And as a man, like, I wanna be able to, I want to, be like, "Nah, I'm good. Don't worry about it," and stuff like that. But like I said, in the situation I'm in, going through what I'm going through, Like I was like, dude, I'm, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I need as much money as I can get. You know what I mean? From wherever I can get it from, as often as I can get it, and But I was like, nah, dude. Like, I'm not gonna take your money, man. Like, you did what you did to get it because you needed it. So his name was James, and James said, he was like, nah, dude, like, he's like, man, you've helped me. He was like, he told me you were, he told me, like, he was like, you were a blessing that I didn't even see coming. And, and I shared that on social media, and I shared that and not only not because, well, okay, for two reasons, and let me explain why. One is because I wanted to show what I'm capable of and how to help, and I'm worth, and the fact that somebody was willing to offer me money because I helped them through a situation, I was I feel like, okay, that shows some value. That's marketable. Like, let me put that out there so you can see, that this is what I do, this is what I'm good at. Like, I can do this. But then, more importantly, the most important thing is to show that he did reach a level of where he was able to find clarity and peace, and one of the things that we talked about was that, I'm like, you have to make a decision on what you're gonna do. Now, I I know, I'm not the type of person to tell you, like, you just do it and get over it and stuff like that. Like, sometimes life decisions suck. Them shit suck and they're hard. You know what I mean? And it's frustrating, and it's like, like sometimes, there's some people that tell you, oh, well, everything is just simple. It's either black or white, and there is no black and white. I keep saying that. Like, sometimes all you can do is pick the lesser of two evils. What's gonna bring you the most peace. But that doesn't mean that it's not gonna suck. That decision is not gonna come with some weight or some heartache and stuff like that. However, I did explain that doesn't change the fact that the decision still needs to be made. And he made the decision. Like, we sat. I say we sat, but he's in Indiana. I'm in South Florida. But anyway, we sat on the phone together until he came up with the conclusion of what he wanted to do. I just told him the decision needs to be made. Like, you need to decide one way or another. What you decide is on you. And I sat there with him until he decided what he wanted to do and how he wanted to go about doing it. And in the end, he texted me the next day and he was like, I did it. Like, this is what I did. And, it sucked and it hurt and it is what it is. But, I feel at peace. Like, I feel relieved. And, sometimes that's all you can do. So, what else? Like, I applied for a few jobs. I'm technically still waiting to hear back from one, even though, like, the interview I felt like didn't really go well. Like, that interview didn't really feel enthused. And it's because, one of the first thing he asked me, which is why I get this a lot. Like, people see my resume and they see district manager and they see the years that I've been doing it, and they automatically, okay, this guy is used to making X amount of money. So the first thing he says to me during the interview, and he's like, you were a district manager making somewhere near this. Like, why do you want to work here? Like, this doesn't pay nowhere near that. And then later, he's like, well, why do you think you haven't found a job yet? And I'm like, because, like, I want to say, like, people ask me the same dumbass question that you just asked. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so, like, from an employer standpoint, and and for somebody who's now looking to be employed, like, I see it from both sides, because as an employer, if I have not hired people at Jiffy Lube for that same reason. I'm like, look, dude, like you're used to making, X amount of dollars. I can only pay you this, and everybody in the world, there isn't anybody in the world that wouldn't take an opportunity making more money if they had the opportunity. You know what I mean? Like, so, the thing is you hire somebody who's used to making X amount of money, and then that, man, this person obviously needs that kind of money, and given the opportunity, he's gonna leave the first time somebody offers him that kind of money, and they don't hire you. And it sucks. Like it 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 really sucks because like I do need the job. Like I would have done the job. I do need the job, but yeah, like if later down the road I would have got a call to make six figures, being doing something at my experience level, then yeah, I would have taken it. Like why not? Like would you give up six figures to make $18 an hour? Like you know what I mean? So I get it. I get it from an employer standpoint. And that's a lot of time that's their concern, And the other times, the other the other percentage of time is because I don't have a degree. So I applied to that place. He hasn't hit me back yet. I applied to public storage to be a district manager down in Miami. I got denied that. Like it just, and it makes me feel like maybe I just need to stop lying. Maybe I just need to accept the fact that right now what I need is to be a gig worker and keep doing and hustling the way I'm doing it, because clearly this is the like everything is pointing towards like this being the only thing available to me. Like I've tried gig work. So like I reached out to somebody on Craigslist, right, who need help cleaning the patio and stuff like that. And while we were messaging, you know, she messaged me. She said she wanted to give me the job. So we're talking about it. And while we're talking about it, I sent her a screenshot of me, like a selfie of me, so that, my thought was so that when I roll up to her house, like she has a picture of like who she's expecting. And her response was, ooh. First of all, I was like, fuck you mean, ooh? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't fucking hideous. But then, she was like, don't send me no selfies, and that's so unprofessional. And I'm like, well, man, like, I tried to explain that. I'm like, I'm gonna show up to your house. Like, you're a woman. I'm a guy off you're meeting off the internet. Like, when you do gig work, like, if you do Upwork or Fiverr or Thumbtack or even Uber and DoorDash, like if you do that, like you get a picture of who you're expecting. And that's what I thought I was doing. And she was highly offended about it. And like she started harassing me. Like she wouldn't stop texting me to the point where I had to block her. Um, I'm like, if you're not gonna do business with, like, fine. If you feel like I, fucked up and it is what it is, then whatever. But like at this point, there's no point to keep texting me. So I literally had to block her. But you know, but that's it. Lexi gave me the day off today. She was like, I got the rent handled. Like I'll figure it out. Um, but she was like, you and Harley need to spend time out the car. Like you guys are always in this car, and I want to be able to give you the night off and let you rest and stuff like that. So literally, like that was at lunchtime, and she was like, take the day off and go home and just rest and get some sleep and stuff like that. So that's what I did. Like I didn't even I trust my wife, so like I didn't even ask questions. Like I was like, okay, and I went home and Harley went and we laid in the bed until it was time to pick her up and stuff. So, and that was it, man. Like that's all that's been going on. The last little bit, like my mind has been shifted in the sense that, like I said, like maybe this is just what it is, and I need to accept that this is what it is. You know what I mean? And there's a reason why I haven't found a job. There's a reason why God's got a plan for something, and it doesn't. I don't know, or maybe just the right job ain't come up. But I've been applying for years. For the entire time I've been in Florida. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I don't know what it is, man. But you know what? Like one thing, one thing I do know is like I can't. I can't quit. I have to keep going. I have to keep moving because it 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 apparently is what I need to be doing right now. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't know what's out there. I don't know what's in store for me. I don't know what God's plan is, but apparently, like I said, I just need to keep doing what I'm doing because this is this is what it is. You know what I mean? Like this is the only thing that's constantly available to me is like go do it, and it sucks because it's not always lucrative. And during the beginning of the week, I'm like sitting out there struggling to make money, and I'm like, man, I gotta pay this rent the next for the next day. So I try to look for different means of making money so that when it's slow, I have other opportunities to do so. But I don't know, man. But all I know is that it was refreshing to see so many people respond and and say, one person in particular reached out. He's kind of family. Hey, you coming? You coming? Um, yeah, I told him I was like Lexi's watching the Nick game and like it's do or die. So like, don't pay her no mind. I was like, don't pay her no mind if you hear cursing and yelling and stuff like that. Like, so no, no, I warned them already. So, but so that's what's just been going on the last couple of weeks, the last week, since I made that last video, and I just wanted to tell you what was going on. But we trucking along, man. Like we're not gonna give up. We're not gonna stop, and apparently, this is what I need to be doing, like gig work and just focusing on yeah, making this content and stuff like that. So just want to keep trucking along, and so if you're following me, if you're subscribed, yeah, I appreciate the love, I appreciate the support, and my buy me a coffee link is going to be linked in the description of both the caption on Facebook and YouTube because that's where this video is going. So if you see it and if anything I've ever said to you gave you peace or motivated you or did anything for you, and you feel like you want to help and support the movement, then the Buy Me Coffee link is linked in the description below. Feel free. If you need any help with coaching, like if you're feeling like understand what I'm gonna say to you. Like I'm not gonna fix you. I don't know how to fix you. I don't have all the answers. But what I'm offering you is that I will sit with you until we figure what the correct answers or what the best answers are. So if you're somebody who just, want to be seen, you want to be heard, you want somebody to just let you yell and cuss and get your frustrations out and then help you sort through your thoughts and find clarity and peace and what next steps to take both personally and professionally. If that's you, reach out, send me a DM, do whatever. Um, and we'll talk business from there, but let's get you right first and let's get you the help that you need. So but other than that, man, like I said, this was what are you looking for, babe? There's not one. Hold on. There's not one on the table. We'll take the keys. There's one in the car in the door. I could have sworn the red one, or maybe it's in my. Come check my shorts right here. These shorts right here. Maybe I left it in the. But I could have sworn I had. You got it? Anyway, I could have sworn the red one.
There's two red ones. Clear, see-through one, and then the solid red.
Yeah, the solid red one. I could have sworn it was right. I just used it. Or maybe it's in it. Maybe I put it in the car. Maybe I left it in the car. Anyway, I don't know. I'll skip through this or whatever. So yeah, I don't have to see that. But I just wanted to tell you I appreciate all who are riding for me, all who believe in my journey and my mission and what I'm doing, and thanks for supporting us and being there because it means a lot. And like I said, there are way more of you
Just wanna,
than I realized.
I'm gonna leave it open.
Okay,
Just,
so I appreciate you and I love you. Peace.